we've always broken down our season into thirds. And, you know, in my world, how I talk to the team, we've just ended our first third. Now we got a new one going from Christmas to All-Star break to cleanse ourselves of the past. Losing, the losing isn't a part of how we see the world. And there's one layer where I got to try to keep our guys' spirits up, but keep it incredibly honest. And we aren't accepting losing. This doesn't represent who we are. You might be able to point to like No Joe from time to time, or JJ, or Cub, and that's all true, but that is not who we are. And we have a chance to do something and start something in that second third, that middle third, to start fresh. And that's the message. And it just so happens to be on Christmas Day in Madison Square Garden on national TV. And that's a pretty good set of circumstances to reclaim really who we are.
When you say you guys aren't accepting losing, what has to change?
I think we need to get better individually. I think that we're going to have to do a little bit more practice and be maybe a little less concerned always about load management. You know, like we're so mindful of sports science and the rhythm of the NBA calendar. You know, you need to work to improve. It's a simple formula. And we try to work, you know, intelligently and not take tolls on their body all the time. And it's especially been affected with just the mass injury we've had. So there's a portion of what I'm saying that needs to be tempered with reality of a schedule and the reality of our health. But we have to find ways to improve individually that'll add up collectively into the obvious areas that we need a little bit of growth. And we need to be able to point to ways that we think that we can improve. And it starts with just like team practice. And it's just the rhythm of our schedule is challenging. And the realities of our injuries to date are challenging. So somewhere we got to find that.
Offensively, are there certain points of emphasis? I mean, I know you guys talk about like pace always, and I guess people view that as going up and down the floor, but like in half-court sets, are there things that you're looking for more?
If our sickness, and this is true, is from about the 6 or 7 second mark into a shot clock till about 14. We're pretty good in the first 3-4 seconds. But there's a window of that clock that produces the most turnovers. It produces the area where we are least efficient. If it was only a half-court sport, statistically, we are second in the NBA with our offense. We move, we pass, we share, we do a good job. But when you start breaking down where are we most sick, where do the large majority of our turnovers happen, it happens in that window. And you can talk about who in that window and why in that window, but when, it's that window. And so getting real coach speak, like, you know, studying how and why and improving, like in that second phase, that secondary break, getting better at that.
This may be a corny question, but when you were growing up, did you ever get like basketball gifts? Did you ever get basketball gifts on Christmas? Like, do you remember any basketball-related present that your
Every
parents
Christmas
gave you or
I
something?
ever had, certainly my childhood life, and probably extended, you know, into my 20s, not so much anymore. But as a kid, every year featured a Nerf ball hoop, a new rim, you know, some type of basketball game. I'm the son of a coach. And it was always, you know, there was always something going on. It could have been a basketball lollipop in your stocking. It could have been anything. But it was something.
What are your thoughts on playing tomorrow on Christmas Day?
I love it. I love the fact that the club has done a great thing and a tremendous gesture on providing for our players' families to come to New York with us. I love the fact that it's proximity. You know, we still can enjoy Christmas within your homes, later obviously in the evening. I just remember as a child watching, you know, Christmas Day NBA basketball. It was always a treat. And there's nothing like playing in Madison Square Garden. And like you add it all up, and it's a privilege. It's a tremendous opportunity, and we're excited to go represent the organization. You know, represent it the way that we want to represent it. Lately, that's not who we are, and we want to cleanse ourselves a little bit and reclaim who we really are.
In your former life, as you always say, how many times did y'all play on Christmas?
Never.
Really?
I'm gonna say never. Sounds like not true, but I feel like it's never. Like it maybe once. Yeah, even with the right. I don't remember it. It sounds like that doesn't sound right, but I don't remember it. So it must.
Yeah, you would know, Chris.
I would think, like, I'd be ashamed if I saw you guys again and said, whoops, it was 4. You know? I'll find out, but I almost want to say never.
Porzingis, obviously a big weapon for them. How do you view him and potentially how to contain him?
Just he's 7'3" or 4" or whatever he is. Like, he can shoot over anybody. And it's like, you know, do you go with apples for apples and, you know, put like a Joel on him? Or do you go a little bit smaller and get into his stomach and get into his legs and put, you know, Cov or Dario or Ben on him? But he's incredibly gifted. He's so unusual to our league. And he's just, you know, one of the very unique features, I think, of our league because of his skill set and his size.